Hello, this is Ms. Pathlin, and I'm going to be going through the E.O.C review packet, numbers 37 through 39. I made a video already, and for some reason, it did not work. So I already have all of my answers written out, so now I'm just going to go through them and explain what I did, so I don't have to rewrite everything, since it was a lot. So 37, consider the following claim. If the point 2 plus dy is on the graph of the function f of x equals x times x minus 4, then the point 2 minus dy is also on the graph. This was a typo. It should be 2 minus d. Use algebra to show that the claim is true. What is the relationship between the line x equals 2 and the graph of f of x? Justify your reasoning. So what we want to do is plug in 2 plus d into our given function. So if it's f of x, and here we see x is equal to 2 plus d, so x equals 2 plus d, and we have our function f of x equals x times x minus 4. I'm going to plug 2 plus d in both of these for x. So f of 2 plus d equals 2 plus d times 2 plus d minus 4. Now I have to combine my like terms. 2 minus 4, negative 2, so f of 2 plus d equals 2 plus d. And I'm going to write it as d minus 2. Then I need to use the distributive property to solve this. F of 2 plus d equals, so first I'm going to distribute the 2. So I need to multiply 2 times d and times negative 2. So I get 2d minus 4. So 2 times d is 2d, 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Then I need to multiply my second term, d times d, d squared, d times negative 2, negative 2d. Now we can combine our like terms. 2d minus 2d cancels out. F of 2 plus d equals d squared minus 4. So now I see that I have a quadratic function. And with a quadratic function, I had both d plus 2 or 2 plus d and d minus 2, which would show that this is quadratic with a line of symmetry. So in my description, I wrote, if 2 plus dy is on the graph of f, then y equals f times 2 plus d equals 2 plus d times 2 plus d minus 4. So this is the work I just showed you. I got d2 squared minus 4. So therefore y equals y. So if the point 2 plus dy is on the graph of f, then so is 2 minus dy. Because it has that line of symmetry, if I add 2 to d, then I'm also on the other side, if I subtract it, then I will also have that point. The line x equals 2 is a line of symmetry for the graph of f. I know this because the x values are the same distance, absolute value d from 2, yield equal y values of the function. So I know that if I add 2 to d and I subtract 2 from d, I'm going to have both those points on the graph because that absolute value of 2 is going to be the same distance on both sides of my parabola. You want to make sure you're very detailed and descriptive, complete sentences, showing all the work, making sure you go back and check. It says use algebra to show that the claim is true. I have my algebra shown. Then it asks what is the relationship between x equals 2 and the graph of f of x. Justify your reasoning. I did that in my description. All right, number 38. Melissa launches a rocket from a 3-meter tall platform. The height h of the rocket in meters can be modeled by the given graph. Melissa knows that h of 1 equals 23 meters and h of a equals 34 and 25 hundredths meters. What is a reasonable estimate of the average rate of change height of the rocket in meters per second between A and B seconds? Explain your reasoning. Enter your answer in the box provided. So here we have 3 points labeled, but I'm only given the ordered pair of the coordinates for 123. If I look at h of A, I know the y value is given. So for the A would be my x value. I can see that this is right between 2 and 3 right here. So that's 2.5. So I know h of 2.5 equals 34 and 25/100. So I'm trying to write an ordered pair here, not 2 ordered pairs. So 2.5, 34, 25/100. So I can use my y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 to solve this. So I know that I have 123 and 2 and 5/10 and 34 25/100, x1, y1, x2, y2, so I would do 34 and 25/100 minus 23 over 2 and 5/10 minus 1. 34 and 25/100 minus 23, I got 11 and 25/100, and then 2 and 5/10 minus 1, 1.5. When I divided this, it equaled 7.5. Now this situation is a rocket meters per second. So this is 7.5 because this is the rate of change meters per second. Now this is from this ordered pair to h of A. I still need to find from h of A to h of B. So knowing that from this point to h of A, it's 7.5 meters per second, I know that this rate of change is going to be a little less because I can tell visually that the distance is shorter. So it's going to be less meters per second. And I know that now it's going down. It's going to be negative. So if I look at h of B, I can estimate that it's about at 3.6. So B is about 3.6. And then I can also see it's a little above the line at 25. So I'm sorry, 25 is here. So halfway between 25 and 30 is 27.5. It's a little above that, so I'm going to say it's 28. So the ordered pair would be 3 6/10, 28. So now I'm going to find the rate of change from this ordered pair to the one that we found earlier for h of A. So I would do 28 minus 34 and 25/100 divided by 3 6/10 minus 2 and 5/10. Simplify the numerator and denominator. Subtract those, I get 6 and 25/100 divided by negative 1 and 1/10, which equals 5 and 68/100 meters, negative 5 meters per second. And then I can round this to about 6. So the rate of change from h of A to h of B is about negative 6 meters per second. So here's my description. You want to make sure you're very detailed and answer all the questions. So going back, what is a reasonable estimate of the average rate of change of the height of the rocket in meters per second between A and B seconds? Explain your reasoning. So I just explained everything I just did. I showed my math of finding that initial rate of change of 7.5 meters per second between 123 and h of A. And then that led me to get my rate of change from h of A to h of B, which was about negative 6 meters per second. So you can go ahead and pause the video and read through it on your own. All right, last one, number 39. Use the information provided to answer part A and part B for question 39. A high school is having a talent contest and will give different prizes for the best 5 acts in the show. First place wins most money, and each place after that wins $50 less than the previous place. Create a model that can be used to determine the amount of prize money based on the value of the first place prize. Enter your model in the box provided. So what I did here is I chose X for the variable to represent first place prize. And then P would represent the total prize money. So if first place is X, each prize after that is $50 less. And then they would all be added together for the total prize money. So X plus, and then second place, I labeled above it, X minus 50, which is $50 less than first place. Then we have third place. That's going to be another $50 less. So I went from negative 50 to negative 100, X minus 100. Plus, fourth place, $50 less than negative 100 is negative 150. So X minus 150 plus, and then fifth place, another negative $50, X minus 200 equals the total prize money. And then I just explained where X is the amount of money for the first place prize, and P is the total amount of prize money. Part B, the talent contest has a total of $1,000 in prize money. What is the amount of money for each of the 5 prizes? Show your work. So I used my same equation from above, but now I'm given that the total prize money is $1,000. So I put it equal to 1,000. Then I solved. So what I did is I combined my like terms. I am adding all these x's together. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 x's, 5x. Then I need to combine all of my constants. Negative 50 plus negative 100 is negative 150. Plus negative 150 is negative 300, plus negative 200 is negative 500. So I got 5x minus 500 equals 1,000. Then I need to solve for x to figure out how much first place prize money is, and then all of the other prizes after that. So I have to do the inverse. First, I look at the side with my x, with my variable. I have the constant minus 500. I need to do the inverse and add 500 to both sides. You have to do it to both sides to keep the equation balanced. Then I got 0, negative 500 plus 500 is 0, so I was just left with 5x. 1,000 plus 500 is 1,500. Now I need to still get x isolated, so if it's 5x, that's 5 times x. The inverse would be division, 5 divided by 5. I must divide by 5 on the other side. 5 divided by 5 leaves me with 1x, or just x. 1,500 divided by 5 equals 300. So x equals 300, and going back to my description up here, x represented first place prize. So I can plug this into each prize to figure out how much each of the prizes cost, because it says what is the amount of money for each of the 5 prizes. So if I go back, this was 5th place. So if I plug in 300 minus 200, 5th place is 300 minus 200 equals $100. This represented 4th place. So 4th place is 300 minus 150, that equals $150. 3rd place is 300 minus 100, that equals $200. 2nd place is 300 minus 50, which equals $250. And then first place is $300. I hope these videos were helpful. You're going to do amazing on your LEAP test. Please let me know if you have any other questions. You're awesome. Goodbye.